Hi everybody, how are you doing today? Um, I just wanted to share some wins that I had this week. Um, if you're new, my name is Sheri. I have ADHD, probably autism, and I have been healing from a burnout I have been in since February, and that's made me very sick and recently diagnosed with CFS. My baseline has started to slowly go up, so that's a good thing. I think it's gone up like twice now. I just got derailed this morning and thought I wanted to share it with you. I don't know if you relate. So a couple of wins is, you can see I was like ready to go out and I got derailed. It's the holiday weekend. I didn't even, it's like I need to go to the store to get certain things, and since being sick I haven't been able to do errands like I used to, and so it took me a while to make these lists yesterday of the things that I need to get, and I have such a little amount of money now that I've been out of work. I don't have an income, and I have a small amount, and they're all important. So it took me a while to go through it all and try to prioritize, because my executive functioning is not functioning. Gemini's been really helpful with me, and I was using him for like hours yesterday sorting these things out. So because I knew I was going to get an overwhelm with sensory issues going to the store as it was. So when you're in a period of burnout, you might have something that's called regression, if you have autism or ADHD, where, and I think for me this is how I ended up getting diagnosed in the first place with ADHD, is I was going through some intense stuff in my life and I just kind of shut down, and I thought I was having like a nervous breakdown and I had to get help. I was probably shutting down, and but anyway, so now I'm starting to get to the point where I can get up and do a little bit here or there. I can't like bring the trash out, and I don't have the energy to stand in the shower and clean it. That's a high energy task that I don't have yet. So if you're healing from CFS and your baseline is going up and you want to know, okay, I want to start doing more things, you finally get to a point where, you know, it's been months that you have been stuck in bed, and you look around and your living space is atrocious. You haven't been able to do regular things to take care of yourself. It's very stressful, and you suddenly feel like, you're stressed out about it, and you want to get up and clean the whole house, but you know you can't, because you'll put yourself right back to where you were. So I've been this past week starting to go through and figure, okay, the thing with CFS and probably autistic and ADHD burnout as well, if you get physically sick from it like that, is that you really have to feel things out and be careful. And I really like what I have been seeing from Toby Morrison at CFS Health, that channel on YouTube. He's somebody who struggled with it, and so he created this organization to help people who have it. I'm not promoting or anything, it's just something I've been checking out. He's got some good information over there. And one of the things he said is the most dangerous or tricky time is not the times when your symptoms are worse. They're the times when your symptoms get better, because then you start to think you're normal and you start to do too much, and you could give yourself a crash and you could go backwards. And I don't want that. And it's like, I have been out for the count for months. I'm not always like in bed like this, but I am a lot. But you can't just rest forever either. So it's really tricky. It's really tricky. So you have to find out what your baseline is. So when your body has, if anybody's taken any medical classes, and you know, I learned about this in nursing school too, is whether it's a patient in a hospital or a nursing home, well, probably nursing home may not be able to rehabilitate people to being more active if it's like a permanent health problem. They can't be mobile. But for patients and anybody, if you've been in a state of rest for a long period of time, your muscles atrophy. I am concerned about the my bone health, you know, so I definitely want to start getting more active and doing things more. Am I up to starting working again? No. I haven't even been able to talk to my boss yet. But yeah, it's embarrassing. That's not how I wanted to leave my job. I haven't gotten to talk to anybody. It makes me really sad. But anyway, that aside, so one of the things I've been doing is using household tasks to see like which household tasks can I do that I might get a little tired, but I'm not going to be exhausted the next day. And it's tricky because if you have something like CFS, something like taking a shower can really be draining. Like it takes a lot of energy. It's something you wouldn't even think about. And so when I was really sick, I couldn't like shower. And that's not only gross, but that adds to your feeling of helplessness and not feeling not good. And you know, if when you're clean, it helps you to feel a little better. I mean, you feel so crummy, I don't know if it matters. But so I've been working with my counselor this week and saying, hey, I think I'm starting to get to the point where I can start to do some small things. You know, how do I transition? Like as a person with ADHD, forming routines is incredibly hard, and I need them. I need to start having some kind of routine so I can start to make progress and not just like rest my whole life away. So, and Toby Morrison from the CFS Health says that too. You can't just rest forever. So there's a way that you can check your baseline, and I have to learn more about it. And we have like a stationary bike that's in the basement, and I'm thinking of having my fiance bring it up, and like maybe I can get on it and use it slowly for like a minute or two each day, like something really small that I can build on. So what I've been doing is the dishes, and I can't necessarily do it every day, but like maybe instead, and this is good too if you have ADHD and you're not sick, but you're not doing a routine. If you're anything like me, if I tried to start a new routine for some reason and not even taking into consideration demand avoidance of the shock of suddenly trying to stick to a regimen when you're not used to doing it, mentally it's like a muscle you have to learn how to flex. And it can be very frustrating because you know that those tasks aren't necessarily hard, and you used to be able to do them at one point, and you know, at times in your life maybe you were more functional, you had it more together, even if you were burning out. But you know that maybe if you've gotten to a point where, I don't want to say you've fallen off the wagon because it's not like addiction or alcoholism, but I know for me there are times when if I've had a lot of change or things go on in my life and I get out of the habits of doing any kind of routine, it's like painfully slow. I can't just start, you know, going, okay, even with the small things, it won't work. I don't know why. It's like my brain rebels and won't let me do them. And I still like get derailed and get super distracted. Even with medication, it doesn't matter. Medication, for me, helps some. And ADHD meds don't help everyone. You know, some people it doesn't help at all. So this week I'm practicing doing micro tasks so I can start doing them more often. So I'm calling them micro tasks. I'm reframing it in my mind. I don't know if this is an ADHD thing, autism thing, or a me thing, but I have a certain way that I like to do things, and I don't like to deviate from that. When I take a shower, and I think it's gotten even more so, because when I was sick, if I couldn't physically get out of bed to do stuff, and I was in bed for multiple days, I didn't have the physical energy to lift my body and stand in the shower. If I could only shower once or twice a week, I was going to take the time and do a good shower, even if it took everything I had. I mean, if it was really bad, I couldn't. Sometimes I'd have to, I'd start cleaning myself, and the exhaustion was so bad, would have to lean against the side of the shower. I couldn't necessarily even lift my arms to wash my hair. So yeah, shortcuts. And I know this sounds like common sense, but why didn't I just think of this before? But I think it's this attachment to, no, I do things this way. And I didn't want to do half showers. I didn't want to skip washing my hair. I didn't want to skip shaving. But if you think about it, and my counselor who also has ADHD, she said this, neurotypical people who don't have these struggles, I don't know if people with autism have this too, or if it's an ADHD thing. It's a lot of steps. You don't really think about it. For the average person, it's just automatic. It's just a shower. You get in, you wash, you do your things. You don't even think. It's automated. We don't necessarily form habits as well. The part of our brain that automates things isn't working as well. So sometimes we have to expend energy thinking to do things that other people don't. So to think about the steps. Now, usually I don't, but I have this I don't know if it's not an obsession, but it's a compulsion. I can't just take a shower and not wash my hair and not do the whole thing. Now, if I go back to when I was well and I was showering regularly, it was not a big deal. Maybe one day I would shower and do the whole thing, and maybe another day I'd skip shaving, or maybe I'd skip washing my hair, but that was okay because I was just going to do the whole shower the next day. But to go from when you've been sick for a period of time and not physically able to do that, and that thing that used to be easier for you before is now associated with such a chore that you don't even want to do it. And anytime you do it, because it's so infrequent, you do the whole shebang. Just thinking about taking a shower is just ugh. And then you add in if you have sensory sensitivities to the way the shower makes you feel when you get out of the shower, the shock from the temperature change, people who are neurodivergent, if you are not, things that might be annoying or you may not feel on your skin, may be sensory wise, not just ick or irritating. It might be for some people almost painful, because their nervous system is wired differently, and so the way they receive messages of how things feel is different. It's heightened, or maybe hypo, maybe they feel less. So it all depends on the person and what their sensory things are. Anyway, so I was very proud of myself. I made myself take a micro shower yesterday, which would be no big deal to the average person. They would think why is that such a big deal? That was a huge deal for me, because it's I can't allow myself to take a shower now. I'm compelled to do everything because I'm so used to it, thinking of it, be well, I don't get to shower that often. So you better believe I'm going to to take a long ass shower. I'm going to let the hot water like loosen up the knots in my back. And of course, with menopause, being in the hot shower gives you hot flashes. So you're in there for a while and you have to gradually bring the temperature down, which is also could be triggering if you have sensitivities with temperature when you're in the shower. So I have to have the hot water because I haven't been taking joint supplements for a while. My joints are very stiff, and because I've been stuck in bed for months, my body's just stiff. It's not only out of shape, it's deconditioned. So yeah, I've been trying to think of ways that I could break tasks down to smaller versions. And I didn't even realize that I had this like compulsion to do like a full process every single time instead of like, my idea of half-ass is somebody else's idea of a really good process, like if that makes sense. Sometimes we can be perfectionists. Sometimes we have to have things a certain way. And you could freak out over it. And you know that it's not rational. Yeah. But I was so proud of myself. After I was done, I skipped washing my hair, and I skipped shaving. I just shaved. I know this is oversharing, but this might be helpful. Other people struggle with this too, and it won't make sense to a regular person at all. It won't make sense to you. If it is something that you want to learn more about, and you don't have ADHD or autism, and that's not something you struggle with, and you might go, what's something wrong with you, let me know if you want me to do any kind of videos explaining why that is. But there are reasons that you get locked into certain ways of doing things, and it's not that you're being rigid, it's that it's your choice. That's how you do things. That's how you want to do things. That's how you chose to do things. So when somebody comes and says, well, it would be better if you just did this, that'll just trigger demand avoidance, and it wasn't your idea, and then you're doing, it's a whole mess of things. But I love my counselor, man. She was helping me to sort out, how can I go from zero, being stuck in bed for months, to being like semi-active normal person again. Now I know that she can't tell me what I should and shouldn't try to do with a chronic illness, because that's something that I would have to, learn about that on my own. But she can help me deal with the ADHD aspect of it. So I have these challenges as an ADHD person anyway. So it brings an extra layer of complexity to, it just adds in a layer of a challenge to it that makes it a little bit harder. And with interoception is your body's ability to sense things. So people who have ADHD or autism may have differences in their interoception. That's your body telling you, I'm hungry, you having that hunger feeling, or you have to pee, you're thirsty, you're tired, and so we may not feel these things. So I don't have the struggle that some people do in identifying emotions. Like they kind of feel the same, or it's hard for some, is that alexithymia? I forget. But I don't always get the message from my body that it's hungry, or I'm tired, or I'm thirsty, or I have to go to the bathroom until it's too late and I gotta run. So that falls into this situation now where I'm like, okay, all these months I've been learning about CFS and this heightened sense of, well, you better be careful if you feel tired. So now you have to learn which type of tired means. I have to stop now. My body is telling me this kind of tired. Now I'm doing too much. So there's this envelope theory thing where if you know you have a certain amount of physical energy, you don't want to spend it all during the task, because then you risk a crash, because You may have to use more energy later and not realize it. So I don't remember how much it is, like if it's half the energy you think you have or more. But what if you're neurodivergent and you can't tell how much energy you have? So it makes me nervous, you know? And now it's like I'm scared to do stuff. I've gotten to, like, because I've gone through this, and now it's like this PTSD where I'm like scared to do small things, which is dumb or crazy. I don't know, but I guess it's not. It makes total sense. So you've gone through this thing, and now you're like, whoa, now I need to be careful. So now every little thing freaks you out. Well, I can't live like that. And also, I'm excited that I'm starting to get better. But it's tricky, right? So it's hard to feel that out where that baseline is. And the only way I'm going to know is by trying different things. So I'm probably going to have to start like a little journal and write down what I do on different days physically. Like maybe one day I did the dishes. That's like a non-task to an average person who's physically well. To get down on the floor to do the litter, you might think, well, you're just scooping. Well, if you think of the physical energy, if you have a hard time, especially if you're middle-aged and you're starting to have joint issues, and now you've been in bed I've been in bed a lot of the time, not all the time. I can get up and do stuff, don't get me wrong, but I still like rest a lot. So your body gets weak. Your muscles start to shrink. You know, if you don't use it, you lose it. You know that saying? Well, that's what happens. So once you've been deconditioned, it's really hard to stand up. It's, you know, once you get down to the floor, it's like things that I feel like an elderly person. And yet other times, like I got out of the house for the first time and I didn't even know how long, a couple days ago. We brought Rennie to the vet, and she had her first 1-year visit, and she has a full bill of health. And yeah, we got to talk to them about how much to feed her, because she started gaining weight because she loves food. It makes me sad how little we have to feed her now, because we get to eat throughout the day, and she just looks at you and you just wanted to feed her. But anyway, yeah, so that's good. So my baseline going up is good. And no matter what happens, it's going to be uncomfortable. Both if you've had a physical illness where now you're going from the transition period of being fully in bed to being an active human. You can't just get up and do the stuff you used to. Your body's physically weaker, so you have to kind of like ease back into it. Kind of like when you're starting to work out for the first time and you're really out of shape. You could hurt yourself, or you know, you get out of breath easily. Now, if you're in your 20s or something, maybe you can go drill sergeant on yourself. But be like, yeah, this is BS. I gotta do shit. But you can't do that when you're sick. Anyway, I'm making progress, and I will let you guys know. I was able to get ready today within an hour. So yesterday I took a 10-minute shower, and then when I realized that it's the holiday weekend and that a lot of people have today off, and I was going to go to Walmart, I kind of had a little bit of a spiral and a shutdown, because I was excited I got ready, and that kind of like sabotaged my plan. So I just kind of laid down and withdrew. So I kind of shut down for a little while. So I was actually going to talk about that, but now it's been 24 minutes, so I'll talk to you guys about that later. Yeah, what do you do when it turns out like you have to go to the store and it's really crowded? Do you get panic attacks about that? I don't have loop earbuds, and I get like, hold on one sec.